they all start fucking laughing at him, chat. Like the deer's head, the lamp, the goddamn pens and pimples, chat. They're just getting out and going, and then we get that amazing scene of him just staring at them, just laughing at the fucking camera, chat, just reveling in the fucking madness. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
Swallow your soul! Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn.
But chat, we're going to go ahead and start. And we got good old Ash Williams, chat. He's taking his girlfriend Linda out to a cabin in Tennessee, maybe Kentucky, chat. I don't know specifically where it is. I believe it's one of those states. We're gonna say it's goddamn Kentucky for the sake of convenience, chat. And they're driving all the way from the University of Michigan to Kentucky, and him and Linda are excited about it. Linda's a little nervous because she's like, Ash, how'd you get this cabin? And the thing is, if I was Ash, I'd be like, oh, my friends and I were hanging out there one goddamn day, and they were all murdered, but they've cleaned it up. And I thought it'd be good to go back there, because people even like in the DVD commentary for this movie, like people actually thought, is Ash that dumb where he would go back to the cabin again after escaping? And Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell agreed to say, yeah, he probably would be, but in this case, chat, it's a new scenario. And Linda, she's like, how'd you hear about this cabin? And he's like, oh, don't you worry about it. Don't you worry your pretty little head, Linda. I got it all covered. The people who frequent this cabin, they're not around this time of year, which is a fucking lie, which is a goddamn lie. But he takes her to the cabin, chat, and they're having a great time. You know, they got the whole, it's all furnished and everything. It's very warm. It's very cozy, chat. It's out of the way. They can do everything that they want. They can have as much hot, sweaty sex as they desire, chat, in this cabin in Kentucky and or Tennessee, chat. The state is undecided at this point. You let me know where it is in these United States. I'm sure you will. And, you know, Linda, she's a ballet dancer, chat. She takes dance classes, so you better hope that you get a goddamn good degree and you get into an awesome program later on or show, because that dance degree ain't gonna do shit. But she's dancing as Ash, who's a bit of a renaissance man, chat, plays the piano. He's pretty good with both hands, chat. He might not be without one. But he's playing that piano, and she's dancing around at Ash. Ooh, that gets Ash going. So he goes ahead, he wraps his arms around her, and they're smooching that. They're having a very good time. And Ash, he gets closer to Linda, but he presses the ugly-looking necklace he gave her into her bosom. And she goes, ow! He says, oh, shit. And he goes, how do you like it, kid? And it's the same mirror eyeglass necklace that he gave Linda in the original movie, and it looks hideous. It's just like, I don't know why you would give this to someone, but she says, oh boy, I love it, Ash. Clearly Linda, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed, chat, but that's okay. We're gonna forgive her for it. And so Ash, he's like, I'm glad you like the necklace. And he's like, hey, how about we have some hot and sweaty sex? But before that, let's get drunk. I'm going to go get the bubbly. I'm going to go get the champagne, and we'll start doing it. And she goes, that sounds great. You get the bubbly. And so he goes and gets the champagne, chat. But then what does he see in the middle of the living room, chat? A tape recorder. He's like, what the hell is this? And he goes, Linda, have you seen this tape recorder before? And she goes, no, we just got here, you idiot. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen everything that's in the house. And he goes, all right, whatever. And so she's like, why don't you play it? He goes, sure. And so he goes and presses the button, chat. And then we have this professor. This professor was going on about his archaeological discoveries, chat, in Sumeria. Apparently him, his wife Henrietta, chat, his daughter Annie, and his assistant, chat, good old Ed, who's definitely going to survive the events of the film, chat. They went to Sumeria and they found the Book of the Dead, or as it's typically called, chat, the Necronomicon. And Ash, like the idiot he is, opens the fucking book. As this guy starts translating, chat, starts translating the Necronomicon, all of this old talking about the Deadites, chat, how the seas once boiled red with blood, and how the book was written within that blood, chat. And I was like, at that point, I'd be like, I'm gonna turn that shit off and close this goddamn book and throw it into the fucking fire. Cause I'd be like, I'm done with that. No, thank you. I'm gonna go have hot, sweaty sex with Linda at this point. But he doesn't do that. he is so naturally curious, shit. He wants to hear everything that's in this goddamn book. And so as this is going on, chat, we cut to, I love the camera work and Sam Raimi's movies, particularly for The Evil Dead. I mean, I don't know, I get the sense that his films popularized this, just how this, I don't know how to describe it, but I think what they did for a lot of these shots, Chad, is they put either the camera on a motorcycle or for some of the slower shots, and they sped it up, Chad, like on two pieces of wood, and they had two people running forward with it to get like the sense that this animal, this spirit or whatever, this wraith, Chad, was coming towards you. I've always loved how they've done the POV. Thank you, Doo Doo Gumdrops. The POV. With the cameras here, or this entity coming towards the cabin. You see it throughout the entire franchise, specifically in 1 and 2. And as the professor's chat, he's going on about this whole goddamn spiel, about the Book of the Dead and all the crazy shit. The entity or whatever it is, Chad, bursts through the goddamn window where Linda, she's changing, Chad. She's changing into her nightie, and she's like, come here, and it grabs her and it takes her into the night. And Ash is like, shit. He goes in there, he's got the bubbling hand, and Linda, she's just gone. He's like, oh my God. He drops the bubbly, Chad, not the bubbly. He goes out there looking for good old Linda, Chad. He's searching high and low, looking for her. And he can't find her. Then, she jumps up, and he falls back, Chad. He freaks out. Her eyes are white. She has sharpened teeth, Chad. Like, this isn't the Linda that he used to know, Chad. He used to have hot and sweaty sex at the University of Michigan. And, his natural reaction, Chad, is I have to kill anything that jumps at me. And so he grabs the fucking shovel that happens to be nearby. How convenient, Chad. And he swings that shit. And he swings the shovel so goddamn hard, it severs her head, Chad. And Ash is like, oh my God, I've killed this girl. I'm not going to report it to the police at all. I'm just going to bury her and cover up this crime and then leave. And so he goes ahead, chat. He buries her. He's covered in the blood and viscera and shit and piss, because that's what happens, chat, when you die. You defecate and you piss all over the place. And so he's covered in all the shit and piss of his girlfriend. It does not look good, but he buries her, chat, puts a little cross in there. He's like, done, and that is that. I'm good. And he goes back in that cabin, chat. And then later on, thank you, Darkster. Ooh, Darkslayer, thank you. Hey, Chris, got back from jury duty. Still got to go back tomorrow. I'm sorry, Darkslayer. Yeah, dealing with jury duty right now. That's the worst. Was it all day? Was it all goddamn day? Man, hey, good to have you here, Darkslayer. Welcome. Thank you again for the 5 bitties. Cheers and salute to you, good sir. Hope it ends quickly tomorrow. So, he goes back in the cabin, Chad. And later we cut to it's morning. It's morning. Now we're at the point where we're at the original ending for The Evil Dead, Chad. After the whole scenario with his friends and him surviving the night and burning the original book, and that's what I think is all it's all mixed up in Ash's head. But it's kind of like the same thing where we get that awesome POV shot of the camera on that motorcycle, and they're going outside, and they go through the cabin the back way, and then through all the various doors, and then Ash goes, and it hits them, Chad. And originally it cuts in the first film, but here, he's now being lifted into the air and thrown across the goddamn forest, Chad. And he's being twisted around and hitting all the trees and the leaves, Chad. I mean, it's just fucking with them. And it hits him so goddamn hard, Chad. He eventually hits a goddamn tree and falls. He falls into a big old muddy puddle, Chad, where he is down there for quite a bit, breathing in that muddy water, Chad, probably causing severe brain damage, which I guess in hindsight is the reason why he can't remember anything, and is an idiot. So he inhales all that shit, Chad, but he comes up, he's like, oh, good, he survived. But no, Chad, he's been possessed by one of the spirits, by one of the Deadites. And he's screaming into the air and everything. But thankfully, Chad, the Deadite Ash, he sees the sun. And I guess, so this is a big point of contention I have with the Evil Dead series is what can stop a Deadite? Now, as we know, Chad, in the Necronomicon, in the Book of the Dead, it says the only way you can stop a Deadite is by dismemberment, chat. You have to kill the host. So if you're possessed, you're fucked. That's it. It's over for you. You have to chop up the body, killing or releasing the spirit, I suppose, and killing the host, right? Now, Ash is possessed multiple times throughout the entire series, and he always comes back chat, for whatever, due to whatever circumstance. I guess in this case, he's exposed to sunlight, and that drives the Deadite spirit away. Now, people have explained the reason why Ash is not capable of being fully possessed by a Deadite is because he is literally the chosen one. As we learn in the Necronomicon chat, there is a chosen one in 1300 AD who, I guess, prevents a total earthly invasion of the Deadites, chat, from taking over the planet. It doesn't stop the Deadites and their evil, but he does prevent them from overtaking the world, chat. As we know in the ending of this film, he's thrust back in the past, and that's when we get the events of Army of Darkness. So that's the only explanation, is that he's basically, he's dumb Anakin, chat. He's really dumb Anakin. he also has a severed hand, funny enough. He's dumb Anakin, chat, with a chainsaw. And so he's exposed to the sunlight, and that drives the Deadite away. By the way, Bruce Campbell, he has, him and Jim, I always say that Bruce Campbell and Jim Carrey have something really, like one big thing in common, chat, is that their face feels like it's made of rubber. The way he's able to articulate, especially in Evil Dead 2, how he's able to articulate like every single muscle in his face for these just exaggerated expressions. You see it here, chat, later on in the film when he's losing his fucking mind, when he's just laughing to the camera, chat, and laughing as though the inanimate objects are messing with him. It's like the way he's able to, showcase various levels of insanity across his face is brilliant to me. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's great. And he's like, ah! And the first thing he sees, chat, is the Sam Raimi mobile. As we all know, Sam Raimi mobile, chat, you always take it. You always get the fuck out of there. I love Sam Raimi's car. It's been featured, I think, in every film he's ever done. Every film he's ever done, chat. So he fucking gets in that car, and he hightails it back to the edge of the bridge, chat. Gets to the bridge that was the crossing point from the place where they're at right now over to the mainland. The thing is, though, Chase, he gets closer. The entire bridge, chat, has been basically folded in on itself, like inward, like it's a giant hand. And he gets out, and he goes, "Ugh!" Gets an Anakin. No! Also, there's a lot of... So, I have a criticism of Evil Dead 2. Where it uses a lot of blue screen, miniatures, which I'm fine with. I don't mind. You can tell what's a miniature and what's not. Miniatures don't bother me so much. A lot of blue screen, but the one thing that does bother me is there's a lot of stop motion animation and claymation in that film. And this is a subjective thing. Some people aren't bothered by claymation mixed with live action. It always bothers me. It kind of reminds me of those old Sword and Sandals movies from like the 80s, 70s, and 60s. Like, oh God, I'm trying to remember the one, like Clash of the Titans show. I'm like, that just doesn't look good to me. It's like, there's just something off. It always takes me out. It's a personal thing. Some people are fine with it, but I never liked it. I've always preferred just the puppetry, which we see a lot of in here, and also in even the first one has some like stop motion stuff. But I thought even the stop motion in that movie has aged better than the stuff in Evil Dead 2. I think it's because there's so much more stop motion, and the creatures that they have are more stop motion-esque, that it takes me out. Whereas in the first film, you only have like really two big stop motion segments where the creatures are like the zombie-esque Deadites are attacking Ash. Other than that, you get like a ton of stop motion stuff, and some which is purposely goofy, which kind of takes me out of it. But anyway, he's fucking, no! And while this is happening, chat, we cut to another great POV shot of the entity, chat, making its way up the cliffside towards Ash. We get a really well-choreographed chase scene here, chat, where Ash gets back in his car, and he's just fucking backing up the entire time, trying to get away from where the hell this thing is. And eventually, he fucking turns the car around, chat, and he just speeds down it. But this thing is right on his ass. It wants those brown booty cheeks of Ash Williams, chat. And he hightails it back to the cabin. The thing is, though, the thing basically breaks through the goddamn car, and Ash slams into a fucking tree, propelling himself into another tree, chat. I mean, hitting his shoulder, face planting to the goddamn ground. And the thing is, at this point, chat, he'd be dead. But thankfully, Bruce Campbell is made of rubber, and he survives. He's like, fuck this. And he eventually gets up, chat. He gets up, and he goes back into the goddamn cabin. And where now, he's just gonna hold up. He's gonna hold up until dawn. Also, the time of day shifts, so the Deadites also have control of space and time. So they're able to manipulate time, at least in this one area. And so he goes back in the cabin, chat. He, puts covering on all the windows, you know, fucking nail and wood, chat, just trying to cover every fucking crevasse he sees to make sure any of these evil spirits or deadites can get in. And so he's just sitting in his fucking rocking chair, chat, just paranoid as all hell, looking around and shit, not knowing what to do. But eventually, Chad, he hears something. He hears something from the outside. He's like, what the hell does that sound like? And he goes to the window. He goes to the window, chat, and he looks upon the grave that he recently made for Linda, where he buried her, chat. And he notices the cross. It tumbles down like off the grave. He's like, what the hell? And all of a sudden, stop motion Linda breaks out of it, chat. And again, this is another scene that's like, this doesn't really work for me. No, I like Evil Dead 2, baby GTG. I love Evil Dead 2. I just have a few issues with it. A lot of the stop motion stuff I'm that's not a big fan of. But then stop motion Linda jumps up, chat, and she starts claymation Linda. She just starts doing some ballet. She's, you know, she's going all around and having a goddamn good time. And Ash is just like, huh? Of all this, eventually her severed head, which I guess Ash forgot to bury, rolls back to her and then like kind of, you know, puts itself back on her neck stump, chat. And then she just starts doing more ballet. She humps a tree for a good minute. And Ash is like, I wish I was that tree. And eventually she just goes, ah, just like that. The one line I do like, she goes, ah, and she just dissipates. She just disappears. And Ash just starts screaming. He's like, this is the most horrifying thing he ever saw. It's like that stop motion, that claymation is horrible. And eventually he screams so goddamn much, chat, that he finds himself back in the chair. It was a dream. And we get this really weird, just like, almost like delayed scream reaction from Bruce Campbell, who's going, ah, 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 like over and over again. It's odd, but I like it. I dig it. And clearly they just let Bruce improvise whatever he wanted. And he just kind of sits back and goes, oh, it was just a dream. And then fucking Linda's severed head falls right between those thick Bruce Campbell thighs, chat, and it bites him. And on the dick, thankfully it didn't bite his dick, chat, but it bites his in between. Oh, no, it bites right underside of his thumb. And she goes, ah! And Linda, she's like, hello, lover, and just chomps on him. And then we just get some slapstick when he is fucking running around the cabin, slamming Linda's head on every wall, floor, inanimate object that he can find, chat, that can potentially bludgeon his undead girlfriend's head off of his hand. He's just freaking the fuck out. And he's just slamming this thing everywhere. Eventually, he's like, he can't get her off. She's just fucking with him. He's like, I'm fucking fine. And he goes... He goes to the woodshed, chat. He's like, I know what I need to do. I should have done this a long time. He goes to the woodshed, chat, because he needs the chainsaw. He's got to take care of business, chat. And eventually, he puts Linda's head in a vice. He puts it around her neck stump, chat, on the neck stump, and eventually tears his fucking hand off of it. And he looks for the chainsaw. He's like, where's the fuck the chainsaw? And then he's like, doesn't know where it is. It's just missing. You see the outline of the chainsaw. He's like, huh? And then this is great. And then Linda's headless corpse busts into the woodshed and goes, ah! And he's fighting off the headless Linda corpse, chat. He gets a crowbar. Meanwhile, Linda, the head, is just talking shit. It's like, we're gonna fucking kill you. We're gonna fucking kill you. And you're dead by dawn, dead by dawn. He's just, ah! He's having like a lightsaber battle, chat, with a headless chainsaw wielding woman, his former girlfriend. And eventually he hits the chainsaw so off the crowbar, chat. The chainsaw flips onto Linda's severed neck stump, and it just starts chainsawing her into her chest, chat. And Ash is being covered in blood and viscera, chat. And like all the fluids are hitting Ash. It's just red and blues and greens and purples. It's like, I didn't know we were filled with that much fluid, chat. I had no fucking idea. He's all open mouth too. And eventually the headless Linda corpse just falls over because like I've been chainsaw a lot. And he picks up the fucking chainsaw and he's about to go to town, chat. But then, good old Linda, she transforms from Deadeye Linda into regular severed head Linda. And she's appealing to Ash. She's like, I love you, Ash. Don't you remember when we were going to drink the bubbly and have the hot, sweaty sex in the cabin where it's clearly not been cleaned? But I love you. And then Ash is like, oh my God, I love you too. It's like, stop fucking with me. And then eventually... and it turns back into Deadeye Linda. He goes, I'm fucking with you. And he goes, yeah! And he revs up the chainsaw, chat, and he just goes to town right down the split in the skull, chat. Just all the blood is hitting him, all the brain matter and everything, all that gray brain matter, chat. And eventually, he's done. He exits the cabin, or the woodshed, chat, and he makes his way back to the good old Evil Dead cabin, the main cabin, chat. He's like, I've had quite the fucking day. And he just sits down. Meanwhile, chat, we cut to an airport where Annie, she has just gotten back. Annie, who is the daughter of the archaeologist, chat, who currently occupied the cabin before Ash did with his wife. She's just coming back from her trip from Samaria. She is meeting her boyfriend, Chad Ed, and she has uncovered the missing pages of the Book of the Dead, chat. The things that her father needed to translate. And Ed's like, you got the page? She goes, yep, I did. And she has all this heavy, like, suitcases and shit. They put in the fucking car. And she's like, boy, I can't wait to see my mom and dad. Little does she know, chat, that her father is dead and his soul is trapped in the evil Deadite realm. And her mom is a bloated flesh corpse. She does not know this yet, but she soon will. She soon will. Meanwhile, we cut back to Ash, who's not having a great day, chat. He had to kill his girlfriend twice. So it's not going good, and he's kind of losing it, Chad. He's just kind of standing around looking at shit, and he's just looking at Indiana Jones like, you're mocking me, you're fucking mocking me. And eventually they'll go, yeah, we are. And all these fucking things just start laughing at him. They all start fucking laughing at him, chat. Like the deer's head, the lamp, the goddamn pens and pimples, chat. They're just getting out and going, and then we get that amazing scene of him just staring at them, just laughing at the fucking camera, chat, just reveling in the fucking madness. It's crazy. It's crazy. Eventually, though, while this is all happening, Chad, he goes over to a goddamn mirror. He's like, gotta get a hold of yourself, Ash. He's gotta get a hold of yourself. And he's just looking at himself, and then Mirror Ash jumps out of the mirror, Chat, and grabs it. Is like, you just killed your girlfriend for the second time. You're not doing okay. He goes, ah! And he's like, oh my God, like he doesn't know what's reality anymore. And eventually, Chet, he looks down his hand, and all these little black tendrils and veins start going up. And he's like, what the hell? And his fingernails start growing, Chet. His hand just starts moving on its own. He can't, it's like, it's just trying to kill him, Chet. His hand is like stabbing in the eyes and trying to rip his nose off. He can't control it. And eventually, his hand is just grabbing onto his head, ripping his hair out, ripping his flesh out, Chet, scratching him. And he's trying to, like, get control of his hand. He's like, you took my hand. Give me back my hand. Some prime overacting from Bruce Groovy Campbell, Chat. Eventually, he ends up in the kitchen where the hand is just smashing plates and shit into his fucking face over and over and over again until it severely concusses Bruce Campbell, Chat. Again, probably an explanation as to why he's so stupid. It's brain damage. It's actually brain damage, Chat, so we probably shouldn't laugh at his predicament in Army of Darkness or Ash of Evil Dead. He's suffered a lot. But the hand is still awake, and what does it see, Chat? A fucking cleaver. What are you going to need a giant meat cleaver for? But the hand sees like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy with that giant meat cleaver. And it starts making its way, Chat. Somehow has a lot of muscle in your fingertips, apparently, because it drags all of that thick Bruce Campbell body towards the meat cleaver. Thank you, Christian, for the host, and welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well today. Oh, the Mad Ninja. No, thank you so much for the congratulations. Yeah, I'm just currently in the middle of my review. I just get focused. I get laser focused, but welcome. Thank you guys again for all the support. Hope you're liking the review so far. There's a lot of nonsense happening, a lot of crazy shit, but it's fun. So the hand's just working towards the fucking meat cleaver, Chat. And I meant it's right there. It is within a hand's grasp of the meat cleaver. But then a knife comes out of nowhere, Chat, and just stabs the shit out of the hand. And that's just like, I got you. Who's laughing now? Thank you. Mr. Humnair, thank you so much. Let me how many videos was that? I like to say the specific amount of bits. Thank you. For the 13 biddies, one of my favorite movies of all. It's great, man. I love talking about it. Best Evil Dead movie. I know I'm always in between Evil Dead 1 or 2. Asher's Evil Dead might take the top spot for me. I love Asher's Evil Dead. It's always between Evil Dead 1 and 2 for me. But no, welcome to the stream, Hummerdinger. Hope you're doing very, very well. Just in the part where Ash is about to sever his own hand. And so he's stabbing the shit out of this. He's like, I got you. Who's laughing now? And he reaches, he stabs his right hand, Chad. He's right-handed, by the way. And he grabs the chainsaw, thankfully, that is in arm's reach. And he grabs that shit. He revs that up, and he just cuts his own cuts his own hand off, Chad. All the blood and viscera and meat just going in his mouth and eyes. He's just loving it, Chad. Eventually, We cut to good old Jake, chat. Good old Jake. He is the handyman slash, I don't know, street safety guy. I don't know, I guess he's like the tow truck driver of the area, chat. Like anytime there is any street nonsense going down, if there's a road out, he's like he's out there chatting to warn people. I don't know what his maintenance. I guess he's a maintenance worker, if you will, chat. Maintenance worker for the state, and he's out there. He's putting a warning sign down for no one to go down this goddamn road. Tiberius Monk, thank you. 500 biddies. Thank you so much. Cheers to Chris Juicy Herman. Oh my God. For that full-time juicy goodness, we got the juice. No, thank you so much, Tiberius Monk, for the amazing support. I really do appreciate it. Happy to have you here right now. The biddies chat, the donations, the subscriptions, the follows, the kind compliments, it really does help. You guys make doing this so incredibly fun and just, what's the word I'm looking for? It fulfilling. It makes it so fulfilling for me. So thank you. Cheers to you. Thank you again, Tiberius Monk. Cheers to you. Oh, Crimson. Hey, Juicy. What does freedom taste like? Alcohol. It's great. Show of the 10 biddies. Thank you. Ooh, geez, spoopy. So spoopy. Thank you so much, Joe. My heart's a pitter-pattering as we speak. Thank you for the 10 minutes. But, chat, we cut to good old reliable Jake, chat, who is a handyman, safety inspector, maintenance. I don't know what his profession is, chat. They don't really say it. But he's out there. He's putting a warning sign that no one can cross that goddamn road. But good old Annie and Ed, they got to get across the road, shit. They get out like, what's the problem here? And he goes, road's closed. And they go, for why? What reason? He shows them, turns the light on, chat, and the fucking bridge has folded in on itself. And they go, well, that's fucking weird. He goes, yeah, I have no idea what caused it. He's like, well, we got to get over there. And, but then we hear another new voice. Here's someone's like, why do you got to get over there for whatever reason? Shouldn't you just be satisfied where you are? And there we have good old Bobby Joe, chat. Bobby Joe, which I do not believe for a second that Jake could get someone like Bobby Joe, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it for the sake of convenience, but I'm like, how the hell? He must have some incredible self-confidence, chat. She must love personalities. Thank you so much for the 100 minis. Thank you. Oh, does Ash have both his hands in this series? Well, they give him a robot hand in the Ash vs. Evil Dead. They give him a robot hand. He goes between the chainsaw. So he kind of does, even in Army of Darkness, he gets his hand back, which I'm like, how the fuck did he do that? So they go back and forth. Because Bruce Campbell's like, I don't want to be handless for the entire movie. Make me a robot hand. You're like, all right. So, but no, Bobby Joe, she's very cute. And there's not for a fucking second do I believe that she'd be with someone like Jake. Not to speak ill of Jake and his looks, but I am doing that. Technically, I'm doing that. But I'm like, there's no fucking way. But good for them. Good for them, chat. And the thing is, though, good old Annie and Ed, they need to get over there. And they're like, but the thing is, like, Jake's like, well, okay, I can get you over there. There's a secret path, which we never see in the film. There's a secret path, but it'll cost you. And she goes, how much? And he's like, $40. And fucking Bobby Joe just fucking his elbows, and he goes, 100. Oh, God, 100, my kidneys. $100, okay. How about this? Thank you, Darkseid, another 5 minutes. I don't want a robo hand that ripped my dick off. Exactly. Goddamn right. Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 biddies. I appreciate that. Speaking for his intellect, I know, for his intellect, or lack thereof. They're two peas in a pod, that Bobby Joe and good old Jake, chat. But she says, I'll give you $100, but you have to carry my things, my bags. And Jake, he looks behind him in their car. They've got like one little bag, and this little looks like this glass frame filled with the pages of the Book of the Dead. He's like, I can carry all that shit, no problem. You got yourself a deal, sister. She goes, great. And then we cut to fucking Jake carrying this massive fucking suitcase on his back like a pack mule, going, oh God, my arthritis is kicking in. As they make their way to the cabin, chat, going around. Eventually, we cut back to Ash, chat, who has cut off his fucking hand, and he has taken the hand, chat, and put a bucket over it. And then he puts a whole bunch of books down, chat, to make sure there's weight on it. And, of course, the title of the first book is A Farewell to Arms. Get it? Yeah. So He's like, good, the problem's solved. I put books on top. And then he walks away, Chat. He turns around. The fucking hand just threw the bucket off of itself in the books, and it's running around. He's like, shit. And he grabs the goddamn shotgun, Chat. He's got the boomstick, not the boomstick yet, Chat, but it's almost the boomstick. But he grabs the double barrel shotgun, Chat. He starts loading this up, and he just tries to shoot this fucking severed hand as best he goddamn can. And eventually, the hand kind of crawls in the walls, like skirting around like a mouse. And he just starts shooting the wall indiscriminately, Chat, hoping he hits the hand. Eventually, he hits it. He's like, yeah! Here's a little squeal. And he sees all this blood dribbling. I was like, yeah, that's what you fucking get. And then, Chat, the blood starts pouring out a little bit more forcefully. That's a lot of blood for one demonic severed hand. And eventually, Chat, the wall just starts gushing blood. It's like a fountain, Chat. It's a fucking just spray of blood, and it hits Ash in the face. And it's coming on multiple walls, just covering the entire floor, just overwhelmed by the blood. Eventually, it turns to black goo. I assume it's feces, Chat, so Ash is just getting hit with blood, feces, and piss the entire time, and then it cuts. And this is actually where the laughing scene happens. This is when he's losing his fucking mind, and then everyone starts laughing at him. The goddamn reindeer head, Chat, the lamp. He does the lamp thing is great because he goes, like in unison with the lamp. It's very fucking funny. But eventually, they all stop, and he hears some noises at the door. He goes, ah! And he just blasts the door, Chat, and he hears a scream outside the door. He goes, oh! And he opens the door, Chat, but there's no one there. And he slowly backs away. He goes, I guess it was nothing. And then he's tackled, Chat. He's tackled by Jake. Good old Jake, Chat. But the thing is, Jake's not much in a fight, Chat, because Ash has that trauma. He's got that PTSD. So he just starts fucking swinging, Chat, with his stump and with his still available hand, Chat, his left hand. He starts beating the shit out of Jake when he's on his back. So Ash, he's a bit of a badass here. But eventually, Ed gets in there, Chat. Good old Ed with his cashmere sweater comes in there, holds Ash down, Chat, as Jake starts beating the shit out of him. Then Bobby Joe, she comes in, Chat. She took the brunt of the blast. Her entire arm has been severed. Her entire arm has been severed from the shotgun blast, Chat, but she's doing okay. She's tough. She's Bobby Joe after all. And Annie comes in, and she goes, where are my parents? Where's Dad and Henrietta? And the thing is, though, Chat, the first thing she saws when she says that is the bloody chainsaw, and she assumes the worst. And she goes over to Ash. She starts clawing at his face and shit. And like, we gotta assess the situation. First things first, we gotta get rid of this crazy fuck. Let's put him in the fruit cellar. So they drag his body, Chat, and they just throw him down the goddamn stairs into the fruit cellar. All that shit's happening. Eventually, they're looking around. They don't see any evidence. They see nothing, no evidence of Henrietta or Annie's father. They don't know what's going on. But they're like, hey, let's listen to the tape recorder. Ash is like, oh, shit, no, don't fucking do that. And they start playing the tape recorder, Chat, the part that Ash did not hear. And we learn, Chat, that good old Dr. Annie's dad, I don't know her name, I don't know his name, Chat, but good old Dr. Annie's dad, he's like, I read the book's pages, and I should have done that, because the Deadites came, and they took over my wife, and she became a bloated Deadite corpse, and I shot the shit out of her, but I couldn't bring myself to do the thing that would end the possession, which, as we learned, Chat, he says it specifically. The only way to stop the possession of a host from a Deadite is to sever the limbs, complete dismemberment, Chat. Arms, legs, and head. You got to get all of them, Chat. 5 good cuts in there. Apparently, Ash is the exception, Chat, but again, it's probably because he is the chosen one. All right, as we learn, Army of Darkness and Ash vs. Evil Dead, he's the chosen one. And he said, the best I could do, the only thing I can do is I could just bury her in the earthen floor of the fruit cellar. And Ash is like, wait a minute, I'm in the fruit cellar. And then fucking Henrietta's like, hell yeah, you are, motherfucker. He goes, ah! He starts fucking screaming, Chat, as the bloated, girthy body of Henrietta makes her way to Ash, Chat. Fun fact here. The person who wears the Henrietta get-up, Chat, the bloated bodysuit, is Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, Chat. He's in the suit, and apparently it was so uncomfortable. Apparently it did not have proper ventilation, and he sweats so much in it. You're actually seeing the film, which they kept in, Chat. When Henrietta's head is turned, you see this fluid coming out of her ear. It's like, oh, that looks so gross, but realistic. That actually is Ted Raimi's sweat, Chat. It's all like skin colored and shit. It's gross. But that's how much he was profusely sweating, where you actually see it leaking out when he turns his head, Chat. Realistic. It's gross as hell. But good old Henrietta, she's making her way towards Ash. She's like, hello, lover. He goes, no. And he crawls up the fucking stairs, chat. He's like, shoving on the entry point, like, get me out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. And they all trying to get Ash out of here, chat. Jake and Ed and everybody. Eventually they do get him out. They get the keys to him and they open it. And they try to hold it down. Henrietta, she got some bulk, chat. She's pretty fucking strong. And they managed to lock her up in there, chat. They lock that shit and they go, whoo, that is that. And Ash, he briefly explains that there's been some crazy shit. By the way, he never mentions like why he's at the cabin. It's like, Dad, don't worry about it. But as they're going over all this thing, Annie, she assumes that her mother's been possessed by a fucking... Also, Ed. Good old Ed, he's thrown across the goddamn way by Henrietta. And Henrietta, she transforms into like a monster creature at one point, claymation monster creature, or head and neck are elongated. And as they're slamming down on the top to the fruit cellar, chat, they crush her face, they crush her head, and the eyeball, one of her eyeballs pops out and it goes into the mouth, chat, of good old Bobby Joe, and she swallows that shit, so that's probably not going to feel very good. Bobby Joe's going to have the bubbly guts for what remains of her very short life. Very short life, chat. She'll probably shit herself to death. I mean, listen, she eventually dies, but the way she died is probably better than shitting yourself to death. I'm just going to tell you that much right now. But they close it. Ed gets thrown against the goddamn wall, but they do eventually close the fruit cellar door. Meanwhile, they take care of Ed, chat. Bobby Joe's traumatized because she just swallowed a dead-eyed eyes. That's not going to be good on her stomach. And so they're trying to assess the situation. Meanwhile, they start reading the books and shit. And Annie, she's explaining some exposition like, okay, these are the other pages. If we just fucking read the pages, maybe we can stop the curse and the deadite, infection or whatever from from growing more powerful. Because there's like an evil entity. Because Ash explains there's like a force out there he has not seen, but it's chased after him. And he's like, oh, that's kind of like the source. That's the source. If we read these pages and I translate them, we can stop. We can absolutely stop it. And they go, oh, great, perfect. But meanwhile, chat, they cut back to the fruit cellar because they hear the goddamn nursery rhyme. The Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if all that shit. And when they cut it, it's Henrietta. It's Annie's mom, chat. And she's no longer a bloated corpse anymore. And they go, oh, shit, it's Henrietta. And she's like, that's my mom. Let's get her out of there. Ash is like, fuck, no, we're not. They're playing with you. I've seen this happen to my girlfriend. And eventually she turns back into bloated corpse Henrietta. And they go, that's gross and weird. And they keep her in the cellar. But meanwhile, chat, now the cabin is being assaulted. It's being assaulted by some kind of demonic entity. It's trying to make its way into their dimension or realm, chat. Like, what the hell is going on? What's happening here? Oh, no. But while this is all happening, when Henrietta is, like, singing shit, and they look over the couch, and fucking Ed, he has become a deadite, chat. He has been possessed. I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul. Exactly. And so he's become possessed, chat, and he starts attacking everybody. And he starts eating Bobby Joe's hair, which is fucking weird. He eats the hair. He eats that fucking hair. And also, he tries to get Henrietta out of the goddamn fruit cellar, chat. Fails. Because Ash, he runs off. And he's like, you fucking coward. But he's not a coward, chat. He goes to get the axe. He brings back the axe. And he begins chopping up Ed, chat. And there's a lot of... they actually changed the color. They reshot this scene. Because apparently, chat, the studio said there's too much blood in this movie. You have to, because there was all blood when they're chopping up Ed's body. It was splaying all over the place. Can you change the color? And so they reshot it, chat, to make it look green. So he's bleeding green goo. And so they chop up good old Ed, chat, and Ed's done. He's not longer possessed, but Ed is also dead. That's what happens, unless you're Ash. And so they dealt with that. And then that's when the entity comes in the house trying to communicate with them. And eventually it goes to the bedroom that Ash and Linda were going to have hot, sweaty sex. And Ash is like, we should probably go in there. And Jakey's like, fuck that. We're going to stay right here. I'm going to stay right here with Baba Joe. She's not feeling too well. She ate an eyeball, and she looks like she got the bubbly guts. But Ash is like, we got to go. And so Ash and Annie, they head into the room. Eventually Jake comes in. And oh my God, the evil, dark, demonic entity, chat was trying to communicate with. It wasn't an evil, dark, demonic entity. It was Annie's dad who's having a rough time because he was killed by the Deadites, and his soul is now trapped in their dimension. He's trying to contact them. He basically says, Annie, you were right. You got to read the fucking pages to stop this from spreading, okay? It's the only way to save my soul and kill Henrietta and save everyone in the... He goes away. And they're like, well, that's a lot of information. Good exposition. Thank you, Annie's dad. And Bobby Joe's like, Jake, I understand you're scared, but you're gripping my hand too hard. He goes, I'm not holding your hand, Bobby Joe. And they look down, Chad, and it's the severed, deadite hand of Ash. And go, ah! And apparently... one of them was holding like a whale oil lamp. Chad, why is everyone using fucking whale oil lamps back in the 1980s? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. And they dropped that shit, and apparently everything goes dark. And they got the whale oil lamp working again, chat. And they're like, where? And then Jake's like, where'd Bobby Joe go? And we follow Bobby Joe, chat. She is running out of the fucking cabin into the woods, which you should definitely not do when there is deadites about, chat. She runs out there, and we kind of get a new version of the tree scene, the kind of the tree rape scene, chat. Like they don't rape her this time. They just kind of they fuck her up though. They do fuck her up. Where it's actually wonderful practical effects here, where all the leaves and branches, they all circle around. And all it is, really simply, Chad, is like it's a reverse shot where they already have the stuff wrapped in her and they slowly unravel and they just reverse it. It's like really, really imaginative, Chad. So this very simple camera techniques you can use. And so basically the forest says, you fucked up, bitch. And it starts wrapping around her, Chad, and just starts dragging her. And not like by a little bit. No, like forcefully. Like she's going at least 50 miles per hour, Chad, being dragged. And all the branches and sticks and leaves are going inside of her skin and eyeballs. She's like, ah! And eventually it's dragging her so fucking fast, chat, that she looks like she's going to just hit a goddamn tree and split in two. But the camera cuts before she does. And so I imagine, chat, she hit that tree so goddamn hard that she just exploded. So she didn't have to worry about the bubbly guts anymore, chat. She had a laxative. And laxative was death. So she's no longer corporeal. She's dead, chat. Somebody say bubbly guts. Mr. Hummindeer, thank you for this. 5 minis. All of the camera work and editing are amazing. It is great. It's super. It holds up to this day. And this is the kind of filmmaking where it does not age a single day. It works. Woo, chat. Thank you. Shaq Me, thank you for the follow. You're my new Huckleberry. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying my Evil Dead 2 review. Good old Baba Joe just got killed. She's dead. So we cut, and Jake's like, you think she's okay? And Ash just looks at him and goes, no, I don't. If she went out there, she ain't coming back. She ain't coming back, good old Jake. But then he's over there with Annie. They're looking over the new pages. Ash he just breaks the case that they're in. It's like, you could just open it up. He's like, no, break it. He breaks it, chat, and they got the pages. They're like, hey, if we read these fucking pages, we can stop the cursed infection of the deadites from spreading further. But then good old Jakey hears this, like, hell no. He grabs the shotgun, Chad. He grabs what is eventually going to become the boomstick. He goes, what we're all going to do is we're going to go out there and look for Baba Joe. And Ash is like, she's dead, man. If she's been out there this long, hasn't come back, she's dead. He's like, you don't say that. Come with me. And he grabs the pages, Chad. He grabs the pages and he goes over to the fruit cellar door. And he throws them. He's like, there, now, they're out of sight, out of mind. Let's go out there and look for Baba Joe. And so they go outside at gunpoint with Jake holding him at gunpoint, chat. And he just starts calling, Baba Joe, where are you? And we cut to the demonic entity. He's like, oh, I smell dumbass. I'm coming for that. Foremost target identified. And he starts headlining towards this trio, chat. And eventually, good old, Jake, he's screaming, Annie's just like, she's dead, dude, just drop it. Ash is like, let's get back in the cabin. He's like, fuck you. And him and Ash get into a good old scrap. He's backhanding Ash. He's backhanding, Bobby Joe. But then the entity, it hits them, Chad. They all get thrown forward. And it's like, oh, the shit, they're all recovering. And he's like, all right, is everyone okay? And good old Jake is like, I'm okay. And they look over to Ash. He's dead-eyed Ash, Chad. He's been possessed again for the second time in the movie by a deadite. And it just grabs fucking Jake. It just grabs him, lifts him up, just starts working out, and just throws him into a fucking tree, Chad. Hits it with his head. He should be dead, Chad. He should be at least paralyzed from the neck down or suffering from severe brain damage. But, he's Jake, so probably both. Annie, she's like, fuck this, and she runs back she's being chased by Deadite Ash, yet she runs back to the cabin, and she wants to make sure that she's holding down the fort. She starts closing all the doors, trying to make sure that she's safe and secure. She goes to the table, chat, where she sees the Kandarian dagger, that useless piece of shit from the last movie. She sees the Kandarian. It looks a little different here, chat. It's not as, it's more bone now than metal. When she grabs it, apparently it's supposedly good at killing deadites, even though, as we know, it ain't shit. That thing is terrible. I might as well use the chainsaw or the axe. And the Kandarian dagger, that's like the weakest weapon in any of the Evil Dead movies. I'll take a fucking gun over that. And so I'll bet she hears something scratching at the back door, Chad. She goes to the back door and someone's trying to open the handle. She's prepared. She's got the Kandarian dagger right up here and waiting, Chad. The door opens. She goes, ah! And she stabs the person. And the person she stabs, Chad, is good old Jake. It goes, oh shit! And it goes right into him, Chad. He falls over. It's embedded in his tummy, Chad, his big old tum-tum. And he's like, ah! She's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I thought you were Deadite Ash. And then Deadite Ash, he does a Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah, and he busts through the fucking window, grabbing at Annie, and she manages to get away. And he's like, shit, I'll just go to the goddamn door. And he goes to the back door, chat. While Annie, she's panicking. She starts slamming the door shut, chat. But the thing is, though, good old Jake, who is still alive but not doing great, he's blocking the door. So she's slamming into his body, just embedding the Kandarian dagger further into his gullet. She's like, oh, shit, sorry. And she moves him, and she tries to shut the door again, but now she breaks his fucking legs. Breaks his ankle. She's like, oh, my God. Eventually, she moves the legs, and then she shuts the door. And then she shuts the door, chat, and she locks it. Ash still trying to get in. And at this point, she's like, oh, fuck. And she's dragging Jake, who's not looking great. He's not looking great, chat. She rips out the Kandarian. He's like, get this out of me. She rips out the Kandarian dagger, still leaking fluids, chat. All of Jake's insides are now his outsides. And eventually, she gets him back to the living room, sets him right near the fruit cellar door, smart. And he goes, okay, this is what we gotta do. We gotta board up these. And right when he says that, chat, fucking big bloated corpse Henrietta grabs his head, chat, and starts dragging him down to the cellar. He's like, save me, oh Jesus God. And he's just dragging him. And he's like, shit, fuck. The thing is, though, chat, Henrietta, she may be big, she may be bloated, but she is strong as all hell. And she's just dragging him further down, chat. And the further her gets, you just see this tidal wave, this just burst, this non-stop burst, chat, like a fucking faucet of blood, viscera, all of good old Jake's insides hitting Annie right in her face. And he's dragged back in the cellar. And good old Jake is not good anymore, chat. He's dead. Thank you, Edgy Berserker, for the host, and welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well today. We're just the part when good old Jake is no longer good. He's dead. And so she's like, fuck, that's not great. And then who fucking bursts in the goddamn door, chat? Deadite Ash, he's there. And he fucking grabs Annie, and Annie, she's scratching at him and shit, trying her best to fight off Deadite Ash, chat, reaching for his pockets, grab a hold of anything. And he throws her against the wall, chat, where she collapses on the couch, and he walks towards her, ready to finish the job. But he sees something, chat. He sees something right by her feet. And he looks down. And it's the I'm sorry, it's ugly. He sees the absolutely hideous necklace that he gave Linda, chat. And he hears the music on the piano he played for her, chat, right before they were about to drink the bubbly and have the hot, sweaty sex. And he picks it up, and he's all deadite and shit. But through the power of love, he stops the dead-eyed curse. He stops it from possessing him, chat. And it's thrust out of his body. So we've learned that apparently, other than dismemberment, if through the power of love and sunlight, you can fight back a deadite. Or, in the case of Ash, he's the chosen one, and they can't possess him for long. That's what I'm going with, chat. And so he's like, yeah, but he's like, he comes to, he puts in his pocket, that's mine. He puts in his pocket, chat. Meanwhile, he goes over to Annie, goes, hi, Annie, how you doing? And she fucking freaks out. She goes, ah! And she has an axe, chat. She tries to chop him up. He's like, wait, I'm fine. I'm much better now. And she's still swinging for him and shit. He's like, and he stops. He's like, no, wait, stop. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm no longer possessed. It's okay. Just stop. Just stop. Just relax. Relax. She stops. She lowers the axe to the ground. He's like, whoo! He sees against the wall. He's like, boy, that shit was great. And the axe goes right next to his face. He goes, God damn it, stop it. She's like, I'm better now. Stop trying to kill me. It's over. It's over. And they're like, okay, I'm good. We're all good. We're on a good page now. Let's start over. Do a nice little reset here. How's good old Jake? Dead. Ah, too bad. He's like, okay, let's read those pages, and then we can get the fuck out of here. She goes, we can't. The pages, as you know, we're throwing the fruit cellar. He's like, shit. And Henrietta's down there. She goes, yup. And he goes, you know what that means? She goes, what does that mean? Montage! And then we get one of the best montages in horror film history ever, chat. I absolutely love this montage. Fucking Ash Williams suiting up. We go back to the good old woodshed, chat, and they're modifying shit. They're doing the hand chainsaw thing. They're fixing up the chainsaw, chat. They got a good old little cufflink for his arm, his severed stub. Got him hooked up on the leather straps. They plug his fucking arm in, chat. He's hooked up. Got the auto, because it's got like a little string, a little drawstring. And he gets the chainsaw revved up, so he doesn't have to use like his other hand. It's just his one hand, chat. And he revs that up, gets the shotgun. Boom! Then we got the fucking boomstick. He does a little bit of twirl with the boomstick, and then we see it, chat. And then he says the goddamn line. Groovy. And he's fucking ready to go take care of the bloated corpse of Henrietta and go get those goddamn pages. So they go back into the house, chat. He goes, you stay up here, Annie. I'll be right back. I'm going to get these pages. He goes down there, chat. And the basement's a fucking nightmare. It's like, it's even more claustrophobic than it was in the original film. And he makes his way, chat. He grabs, like, all the pages are over the place. Henrietta's been busy. He's grabbing pages, chat. Sometimes they're like just a big old pile of poop. Sometimes they're just all wet, but he's grabbing shit, putting them in his shirt. And he makes his way, and he hears this heavy breathing. It's like, oh, shit, it must be Henrietta. And he makes his way closer and closer until he pulls back this curtain, chat, but it's just the boiler. It's just the boiler making all that noise. He's like, oh, that's fine. I guess we're good. And then Jake turns around, and then it's good old Jake, except he's not. He's a skeleton, because the flesh and meat have been ripped off his bones, chat. Henrietta, she's a big, curvy lady, and she needs her food, chat. She was hangry. She was very hangry, and good old Jake is dead. But he grabs the last of the pages, chat, makes his way back up to the top of the fruit cellar, and he hands Annie the pages. Like, here you go. Here are the pages. Start translating. So she starts translating, chat. Henrietta's like, the fuck you will. And Henrietta comes up there, chat. And her and Ash, they start getting a little bit of a tumble. You know, they're fighting back. He's using the goddamn boomstick, chat. Just punching the shit out of her, using the chainsaw, trying to do as much much attacks as he possibly can. Eventually, Henrietta, she gets a good few strikes on Ash, and he falls back in the fruit cellar. Henrietta, she comes up ready to attack Annie. But Ash, he's not down for the count, chat. You may be able to throw him around. He may be stupid. He may be cowardly, but he never gives up. He's always going to come back for you, chat. Eventually. You might be fucked up. You might already be dead, but he'll come back for you, chat, no matter what state you're in. And he's like, let's fucking tango, you fat bitch. And him and Henrietta, they just start dueling, chat. And Henrietta turns into like a giant claymation monster, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't like the claymation stuff, but still. He starts fucking her up, but Henrietta's still too powerful for that. She's a very powerful Deadite. And Annie's like, I need to do the one thing to distract her. And so she starts singing the goddamn song that her mother sang her when she was a baby, chat. The diamond ring song. If I had a diamond ring, turns brass, all that shit. And Henrietta's distracted. And then Ash, he goes right up the ass, chat, with the chainsaw and starts cutting off all her limbs and eventually her head until Henrietta is destroyed. And Annie, she starts reading more of the incantations of the book, chat, translating. But now the rest of the day, it's like, oh, fuck, she's reading. And they come over there like, stop reading. And the trees have come alive, chat. They're attacking the house, trying to get inside. All these other Deadites are making their way through there. And eventually, this giant, the entity that's been coming after them all, chat, it's just, because they have to make it corporeal in order to defeat it, and it's sucked into a goddamn, like, portal to another dimension. And we also learned there was a savior in 1300 AD that stopped the Dates from taking over the world, and that's where you're going to send him. It's like, that's a lot of exposition, but I'm going to go with it. And so these fucking entities are trying to get in, and Ash, he's so scared by what he sees, chat, this giant red-faced Deadite, it turns part of his hair away. He's like, oh, it scares him. And Annie, she's just about done. She's just about done the translation to open the portal and send these Deadites back into that dimension. Meanwhile, the portal's opening up behind them all. Ash, the Samurai Mobile's getting sucked in, Chad. All the Deadites are getting sucked in, but the last one, it needs to be sucked in too. But oh no, shit! Annie, right before she's about to say the final incantation, chat, she's stabbed from behind with the Kandarian dagger. It's like, who did it, chat? It was the severed hand of Ash. It was the Deadite hand. He goes, shit! And he blasts that fucking thing. He kills it, chat. He finally does it. Fifth time's the charm, I guess. He goes to Annie's not doing well. But no, the fucking trees are grabbing Ash and they're bringing him closer to the evil giant red-headed demon Deadite. And he's like, shit, fuck! And we see on the side of its face, it looks like pimples. They're not. They're all the souls that it's acquired. So you see everyone who has died in the film so far. But Ash, he gets close up to it, and he revs up that fucking chainsaw, and he just starts stabbing, stabs in the eye and the face, just trying to get away from it, chat. And eventually, Annie, she finishes, even though she's on death's door, chat, she finishes the translation, the incantation, and the Deadites are all sucked. They're all sucked into the portal. As she stops, he takes a breather, he goes over to Annie, and he says, "Line, you did it, kid. You fucking did it." But oh no, the portal's still opening, chat. He's still getting, things are still getting sucked in, like the kitchen sink and the stove and shit, and Ash himself. And he's trying to hang on for fucking dear life. He's like, why won't it end? Until eventually he's sucked into the portal, chat. Everything else just spinning into oblivion, not knowing where he'll be. And then we cut, chat. It's daytime, and we see the Ashmobile fall from the sky into this very desert-looking environment. Then Ash eventually lands very close by, and he gets up. But he's surrounded by all these knights in armor. It's like, where the fuck am I? And like these people on horseback are coming, chat. It looks like the goddamn medieval times. It's crazy. And then they all start panicking. It's like, Deadite! Deadite approaches! It's this giant winged Deadite just coming down from him, Chad. It's like a claymation figure. And Ash is like, stand back, guys. I got this. And he takes out the boomstick, Chad. Boom! He shoots that shit out of midair. He brains it, Chad. Blows its head clean off, and it falls to the goddamn ground. And all these people just stop. And one lone knight raises his visor, and it's Sam Raimi, the director, and he goes, it is he who has fallen from the sky, who shall free us from the tyranny of the Deadites. Hail, hail. And he goes, oh shit, he realizes, Chad, he was the savior. He is the chosen one from the story in 1300 AD who will save the world from the Deadites. He's just going, no, God, no. There's a matte painting behind him, no. And then it cuts, Chad. Evil Dead 2. And that, my friends, is the second chapter in the Evil Dead franchise. It's a fucking fantastic movie. Hail he who comes from the sky. Exactly. Great ending. Very fire ending. Agreed, Chad. It was awesome. It's a setup for Army of Darkness. Later on, a setup for everything that happens in Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you have not seen this fucking film of the franchise, please do yourself a favor and check it out. It is fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the review, my friends. Hope you liked that shit. Woo! That was a good one. That was a good one, Chad. I'm getting a lot of messages right now. What the hell's going on here? Oh, Chad. Got some well wishes from some people. Some very quality well wishes. 3 out of 5 fluids. A lot of fluids, Chad. Blood, viscera, piss, shit. Others. Oh, man. The Empire Strikes Back of horror movie sequel. I agree, Chris Ayers. I agree. That's good. That's an apt comparison. Finn, Chad. For now, Finn, question mark.